So I know obviously there were like football games this weekend, and the actual Super Bowl is coming up, I think, this weekend maybe? Whatever. Don't care about any of that, because you know what? My Super Bowl is happening on Tuesday, which will be today when this video comes out, because that is Crescent City 3. And let me tell you, so if you're seeing this video now, I am going to be staying off of Instagram. I'm not touching TikTok for sure, but I'm gonna be staying off of my Instagram for the most part until I finish Crescent City 3, because I do not want to be spoiled by anyone, and I quite frankly don't trust anyone. So I will be staying offline until I finish Crescent City 3. So just want to let you know, if you DM me or tag me in anything and I don't say anything for a few days, I'm not getting on there until I finish that book. So, because that is my Super Bowl, I'm so excited for it. And let's go ahead and jump into the February TBR, where I have Crescent City 3 on here. I put it on my January TBR as well, because technically it comes out January 30th, so like 2 days before the end of the month. But realistically, I don't think I'm going to still finish it in January, so I'm putting it on my February one as well. It's gonna be a thick boy. I don't know how many pages it is, if that's like out there somewhere. I see anything about that book right now, and I have just kept scrolling, except I did see back like months ago when they were running it through the printer that a certain sword was on a page, and I freaked out a little bit. So House of Flame and Shadow I'm putting on here. I'm so excited for this book, and this is one that, like, out of all of the books on my TBR this month, this is the one that without a doubt I am going to be reading as soon as it comes out. So, and then I have I was gonna say a couple of other, I think I have like 5 or 6 other new releases, so let's run them down, that I also have on my TBR for this month. So next up, Serpentine Valentine by Gianna Darling. I am so excited for this one. It's a sapphic, kind of Medusa inspired retelling, but like dark academia. I cannot wait to see this romance from her, because I think Gianna Darling's writing is beautiful, and she has that little bit of grit to it that is one thing that I want in more sapphic romances. I want that same like dark, kind of gritty, intense, angsty atmosphere that so many like books have and MF books have. I know there are a lot of like more traditionally published sapphic romances that are lighter, but that's just like, I don't really like a lot of the lighter romances, so those are not my cup of tea. Or like Vibe and the Madhouse, like I want that. So I'm really excited for Serpentine Valentine. I've been seeing some of my friends already getting this arc, and I can't wait to read it myself. I think it's gonna be really good, and I have high hopes for it. Next up, so this one actually is already released. It released just maybe like a week ago or something, but I haven't gotten around to it yet, and that is 1111 by Macaulay Smelter. So this was another anticipated release of mine, another one that was in my 2024 anticipated releases. Y'all know how much I love Macaulay Smelter's books. I mean, Sweet Dandelion is my favorite standalone book of all time. I absolutely love that one, and I'm excited for this one because it's a reverse age gap, and so our heroine, I think, like dates the dad for a hot second, and then like, I don't know, something ends up happening between them, and then she somehow ends up running into his son somewhere down the road, and then it's her romance with the son. Listen, that sounds very intriguing to me, and I mean, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. Pretty much anything that Macaulay Smelter puts out, I'm gonna have my eye on, but this one in particular has really snagged my interest, so I will probably be reading that one this month as well. But like I said, really the only certainty I have on this list is Crescent City 3. Next up, another new release, Magnolia Parks Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. So this is technically the 5th book in the Magnolia Parks universe, but it is the 3rd book of Magnolia and BJ's story, which I am so excited, because I haven't read the 4th book, technically book 2, and Daisy Hates. I don't know if I'll read it. I think eventually I might, but I love Magnolia and BJ so much. And The Long Way Home last year was an honorable mention of my favorites. I honestly thought it was going to make my favorites list, and then like over the year, I read it like in January, and then over the year I ended up having too many other books that I love too much. But I love both of their first 2 books, and especially with how the second one left off, this has been a massive cliffhanger to be sitting on. So I'm very interested to see how things are gonna go, and also just getting farther on in their relationship. I don't know if this is the last book of theirs, so like, are we gonna get their happily ever after in this one, or are we gonna have to go through some more pain with them? Honestly, I'm down with whatever. I'm good with more pain. I'm good with a happily ever after already. I can't get enough of these two. And truly, the thing that I was wondering when I was reading the second book was like, why? Like, why can't they? Why do they have to be together? Like, when everything is so hard for them and like they have such issues with each other, why do they still keep trying? And then then I got it. I understood it by book 2, and now I just cannot wait for book 3. So that is going to be releasing this month, and I'll for sure be reading that. And also the sun's gonna decide to poke out a little bit. Hi. I think the lighting's still okay, so we'll keep rolling with it. Next up in my new releases, that again, this is one that it's like out of all these on this list, this one is like gonna be high priority for me, and that is Untether by Elodie Hart. This is the 4th book in the Alchemy series. I have read and loved all of the books in the Alchemy series so far, and this one is another they're interconnected standalone, so you don't have to read the first 3 in order to jump into this one. It's just following a new couple, but all set around alchemy, which is a spicy club. And this one follows Cal and Ada. And so Cal, you've already met. He's very much like kind of a playboy, kind of like fun, playful kind of guy, and he works for alchemy. He's one of the co-owners. Ada, I think I don't know how she's like a public figure, if she's a celebrity herself or if she was married to someone who was like prominent, but she is going through a divorce, and she just really wants to like reclaim herself and like reclaim her sexuality, and she ends up going to alchemy to do that and starting to do this kind of like documentary a little bit of like her exploring herself at this club, and Cal ends up being the one to kind of help her out with that. Like, I'm so excited for it. I love all of these books, and especially with this one, some of the teasers that Elodie Hart has been sharing, I'm like, sign me up, say less. I cannot wait for it. And her writing is just so beautiful. It's equal parts like lyrical and pretty and just well done to read, but also like insanely hot and insanely spicy and just like, it's so good. I can't wait for this one. It's gonna be great. And the last new release I think that I have up this month, this February's got a lot of new releases, is Where's Molly by H.G. Carlton. So I think this one comes out towards the end of February. I think all the rest of them are more so at the beginning of the month. But Where's Molly is, it's a standalone, but if you read the cat and mouse duet in Hunting Adeline book 2, Addie ends up finding this journal about this girl who went missing years ago, right? And she ends up finding her journal in this place that she's in. I can't really like say anything. I don't want to give anything away, but anyways, it's Molly's journal and she's reading it. And then this is the story of Molly, this girl who like went missing and everything. I'm really intrigued by it because honestly, I didn't remember who Molly was when this was announced. I'm like, who the hell is that? Was that one of the girls that she met? Like, I have no idea. And then someone like in a comment had told me that it was the journal that she had found, and then that like clicked and I remembered that. So I'm intrigued. I don't know how this works, like if it's a captive, like does she end up falling in love with whoever took her? I don't know. Is it like her story about survival? I don't know. I really don't know anything about it, but I'm really looking forward to it. I love the cat and mouse duet, and I'm just really excited to get another kind of like dark, gritty romance from H.G. Carlton because I wouldn't expect anything less. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a fun time. Well, fun in the way that like I find that stuff fun to read about because I love dark romance. But anyways, Where's Molly? Gonna be on the list. Okay, I think that's it for all of the new releases this month. And now it's just all of the other books that I have on my radar that I plan to read this next month. So first up, Head in the Game by Rebecca Wraith. So this one technically I've already started, but here's the thing. I've also been reading my buddy read book that I do with my friend every month, and then Crescent City 2 I've been rereading. So I'm only like 9% in. So I feel like, you know, I'm still fine to include on this TBR because I'm still going to finish it. So Head in the Game by Rebecca Wraith. So this one is a coach-athlete, y'all, a coach-athlete romance. And this one follows a football player and his football coach. So our coach in this one, he's a former NFL star, and he was basically hired by this college to come in and kind of overhaul this team. The college really wants a championship, so he was brought in to kind of do so. And in his first year, he's already like really turned the team around. He didn't get the championship yet, but he's done a lot of work. And now in this next season, he ends up bringing in, I think he's a running back. I don't know jack shit about football, so I don't know. I think he's a running back. And he ends up bringing this guy in to like recruits him to come and play for the team. And our one hero, so he's a football player, but he got kicked out of his other university because he hooked up with the coach's daughter and beat up the quarterback on their team. He has his reasons, just you'll have to read it for yourself to realize that. Anyways, that happened and the coach was like, you're out of here. And our hero is like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, he really, like, the NFL is kind of like his only route that he sees in his mind. So he ends up agreeing to come to this school and kind of help get this championship trophy. And the coach from the beginning is like on top of him him and being like, you need to work harder, you need to be better, like this, and that, and like really pushing him. And I don't know, we'll see how it plays out, but y'all know how much I love the coach athlete trope, right? And I'm excited. I've never read it in a football romance before. And here's the thing, I don't really care about football, but like I'll read it if it means that I get to see some coach athlete action going on. So anyways, that's that book, and so far I'm enjoying it. Then I have Fragmented Illusions by Marie Ann. So I've never read anything by this author. I honestly haven't heard of this book until I saw Nikki from Nikki and Bookland. She is it's not Dark and Disturbed, it's the Blackout Romance book box that she's a sub to, and she posted the most recent box that she got on Instagram, and this was one of the books in it, and right by the cover I was like, oh my gosh, I'm intrigued by like the special edition cover. And then she showed the artwork that they do for those, which first of all, the artwork that they do for those books, my jaw was on the floor when I saw that, and I was like, I need to see what this book is about. And it sounds intriguing. It sounds like it's maybe a little like thriller romance, I don't know. So I think it's about like this woman who's maybe in the cabin, and then like she's being stalked by these two men. I honestly don't really know. All I had to see was that artwork for me to be like sold. I'm intrigued by it, and I've added it to my TBR, and yeah, we'll see about it. It looks really dark and messed up, but y'all know that I like that kind of stuff, so we'll see. Next up, I have God of Malice by Rena Kent. So this is the first book, and I don't even know what this series is called, but I am very far behind on Rena Kent's releases. So I have read, I think, 3 or 4 Rena Kent books. I read the first 3 in the Royal Elite series, and I loved them. I loved those 3 books, and I don't know why I didn't like just keep going with the series at the time. I think because like those 3 followed one couple, so once they were done, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read other stuff, and then I just never went back to finish the Royal Elite series. And all of her books, whenever they come out, I'm always like, that sounds really good. And I know that I like her writing, I know that I like her characters, and specifically this Gods series has been one that's been on my radar for forever, but now everyone is talking about Gods of Fury. I think that was like book 5 that came out, and I was just planning on reading that one, and then I had someone, because like people have read that one, I'm sure it would be fine, but then someone was like, it'd really be better if you read them in order, and I do like reading in order, and I do want to read them all, so I'm like, you know what, I'll put this one on the top of my TBR. And let's say if this one, like if I'm getting kind of like bored with the earlier books, then I'll just jump to God of Fury, but I'm gonna put God of Malice on here, so I'm pretty sure it's he like stalks her or something, or is it another bully romance? I know she pretty much always does some form of like dark kind of like bully or like hate to love, enemies to lovers kind of deal. Like I don't really think she has any that are like fluffy or like friends to lovers kind of vibes, which like I don't want, but I do want. If he stalks her a little bit, that sounds great to me. So yeah, I'm putting God of Malice on here. Next, these next 2 books are actually going to be in a vlog that is going to come out either at the end of this month or like at the beginning of March. I can't remember what date it was all agreed on, but it's going to be a collab vlog. I won't really say any details until that comes out and you can see like everyone's video. So the first one that I have for that vlog is When Stars Fall by Emery Rose. So this one is a second chance romance, and it's one that I didn't have marked on my Goodreads TBR, but it was one that like as soon as I saw the cover, I'm like, oh, I've definitely like seen people talk about this one. And so I'm pretty sure the hero and heroine, they're like together for a while, and then he goes off somewhere, like they break up, he goes off for a few years, and then he comes back, and is she maybe with someone else, but like but now that he's back, like maybe that kind of changes a little bit. I honestly don't really know, but I'm looking forward to reading it. I really like Second Chance, and I've been wanting to read more Second Chance, so there's this one. And then the other one that I have for the vlog is Captive of the Horde King by Zoe Draven. So this is an alien romance, which I don't think I've read any other alien romances except for the Ice Planet Barbarian series, which I love. I love that series. I think I've read like 9 or 10 books in that series, and I thoroughly enjoyed them all. So I'm intrigued by this one. It is a captive, which is what I asked for, but like aliens, I'm looking forward to it. I genuinely don't really know anything about this book, but I'm open to giving it a go because I wanted something like different, something that like I wouldn't normally pick up myself, and that is definitely this, but within a trope that I really like. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, I will have a vlog at the end of this month, I think, reading these 2. Okay, what do we have? We have 3 more. One of these, okay, I've literally put this book on so many TBRs, so I'm gonna kind of like fly over it a little bit, and that's Hidden Scars by Andy Jackson. I don't even know how many TBRs I've put this book on, but here's the thing. I finally got it downloaded on my Kindle because I think I like constantly kept being like, I'm really gonna read this one, and then I always forgot to download it on Kindle. So whenever I picked up something new, then I like didn't ever read this one, and now I finally have it, so I'm putting it back on the TBR. It's a hockey MM, enemies to lovers, and I think they're teammates romance, which like sold. So sold. I'm really in the hockey mood right now. I've been watching a lot of hockey. I've been reading a lot of hockey books and I can't get enough of it. And I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I think it's really going to be a winner for me. It was also my 5-star prediction video and I just really think it's gonna hit. Next up is Undeniable by Daisy Jane. So this one is a mom's ex-boyfriend age gap romance. So our heroine in this one, she's younger. Her mom ends up dating this dude. He comes around. I don't really know what like all happens, but eventually I think her mom and him like end up breaking up and he obviously leaves. And then when she's an adult, she like runs back into him and she realizes that she's kind of attracted to him and maybe like he's attracted to her. But then obviously there's the fact that he dated her mom that like gets in the way a little bit. I don't know, the blurb is honestly kind of vague, but all I really had to hear was that it was her mom's ex and I was like, that sounds great. I'm very intrigued by it. And yeah, I definitely want to give this one a go. It sounds fun. And then last but not least is, okay, I think it's Hamartia by Scarlett Drake. So this one is a rock star and K-pop idol romance. Y'all know how much I love my rock stars. Clearly, I love my rock star romances. And I have not read one in a long time, but now that I'm done writing Take My Hand, like I'm doing edits on it right now, and then I'm not going to be writing Take What You Want, which is book 3, until like later this year because I'm doing a sports romance right now that I'm writing, that I'm like, I kind of feel freed up to read some rock star romances so that way I'm not like writing one and then also reading one. So I'm putting this one on here. I've seen a couple of people talking about it recently. Honestly, I've heard that the audiobook is amazing, but I don't think it's on like Hoopla. I think it might be an Audible one. And y'all know I do kind of struggle with new books on audio, so I think I'm just going to read it like physically, but I have heard that it's a great great audiobook in case if you are curious and wanted to check it out, that apparently the audio is really great. It's an rock star and K-pop star romance, and I didn't really need to hear any more. That sounded amazing. Also, I think this cover is sickening and I'm so excited for it. So anyways, that is all of the books on my February TBR. So I'm feeling really good, honestly. I think I'm gonna do good on my TBR this month. I did decent on January. I think I ticked off like 3. So, but I'm feeling good because there are a lot of new releases on here that I will like for sure be reading. So anyways, that's February TBR. So on Friday, I'm going to have my January wrap up. And then next week, I kind of forget. What did I have? I kind of had my stuff planned out, but then I was like, oh wait, I need to actually do that video first. I don't know. I guess you'll see when it's uploaded, but I guess all you need to know is at least Friday got wrap up coming. So anyways, that's it for today's video and I will see you when I see ya.